What is going on, guys? So I got cut off because I was going too long, but, we'll continue this. So where I was at with the Rams players, Marcus Peters threw a ref's flag into the stands, and Ndamukong Suh has been a very vocal player negatively in a locker room. That's just the case. It's just true. It's true. But in the end of the day, they're all talented. You got Brandon Cooks, 2 on offense. You have Todd Gurley. You have Jared Goff. You have those guys. So let's move on to how the seeding is going to work out. At number 1, I have the Atlanta Falcons at 13-3. At number 2, the Los Angeles Rams at 12-4. 3, the Green Bay Packers at 12-4. 4, the Philadelphia Eagles at 11-5. At 5, at the 5th seed, we have a 12-4 Minnesota Vikings, and the 11-5 New Orleans Saints at 6. So no big surprises there. I think those are going to be the big teams that go out there. But let's go into now the awards. I'm going to start off with Coach of the Year. I thought about this long and hard. Who could be Coach of the Year? Who might have a huge year? I think Dan Quinn will be the NFL Coach of the Year. Atlanta Falcons head coach. And here's why. That defense is going to be well improved this year. They're going to be a lot better. He is a defensive-minded head coach, and that offense is going to be electric and score a lot of points. Don't be surprised if they get back to the 2016 form. They had a year to work with Sarkisian, and if you haven't noticed, most of the receivers on that team, or some of the receivers on that team, are from Alabama. Calvin Ridley was with Sarkisian. He knows the scheme. They still have Freeman, and they still have Coleman. I have Dan Quinn as the Coach of the Year. Now, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Wow. That's a rough one because there are a lot of good rookies out there. But I have one in name, Royce Freeman, Denver Broncos running back, just got the starting gig there. Why am I choosing him over Saquon Barkley? Because with Saquon Barkley, the expectations are too high. With Royce Freeman from Oregon, we don't have those expectations. We don't. He's going to be a great running back for this team, and he's going to help Case Keenum. I think he's probably going to be the Kareem Hunt of this draft. Maybe even the Alvin Kamara. He'll win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Book it. I think he's going to be the most surprising rookie running back this year. That leads us to Defensive Rookie of the Year. I thought long and hard about this one too. And it was hard to pinpoint a name. But I think the Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to be Derwin James. If you listen to how people glow about this guy, and who knows if he gets the starting job. If he doesn't get the starting job, this prediction's out the window. But Derwin James has reminded a lot of people of Sean Taylor. Rest in peace, Sean Taylor. One of the best safeties to ever play the game. But a lot of people are reminded of Sean Taylor when they watch him play. And I think it's going to translate to the field, and I think the Chargers got themselves a gem in Derwin James. Offensive Player of the Year. Now, this one's rough because I don't know how this one's going to go. There are a lot of players I can choose. There are also a lot of players that I think will be good players to pick. But I'm picking David Johnson. And here's why. He's coming back. He's probably going to be the comeback player of the year. He's going to lead that team to all of their wins, and he's going to probably eclipse 2,000 yards as a whole with receiving and rushing. He'll be over 1,000 yards this year. Easy. But with what he is to that team, he will be the Offensive Player of the Year. My prediction. Great running back, best in the game. I think he will be that player. Defensive Player of the Year. This player has never won the award, and I think he's a underdog. Not really an underdog, but he's underrated in the discussion. Geno Atkins. Have you seen this guy play in the preseason? And I'm not saying it because I'm a Bengals fan. He's Bengals defensive tackle. He can easily win this award by eclipsing double-digit sacks. He can do it, and he will do it. I believe he will do it. And if his year is anything like his preseason, man, he's going to wreck offensive lines this year. He picked up a guard and threw him at the quarterback. That's how good of a player we're talking about here. And now that goes to my MVP. I thought this one was easier than some of the other ones because I liked the player, and I thought the player, despite his year last year, was gonna have a great year this year with what they gave him. My MVP is Aaron Rodgers. Sorry, not a lot of you want to hear that. A lot of you are probably Brady fans, for crying out loud. Why are you watching my show? I'm just kidding. I love all of you. But Aaron Rodgers is the MVP this year. Coming back off an injury, he has a lot to prove. Not really a lot to prove. He just has to lead them. And if he can play very well with the weapons he has, he's easily the NFL MVP this year. Period. End of story. Now let's go to the playoff predictions. Those are the awards, the playoff predictions. And, well, let me get there first. We're just going to start in the wild card round. The first matchup we're going to start with the AFC. Baltimore versus Jacksonville. This one's interesting because I think Baltimore's defense and Jacksonville's defense are good. Jacksonville's is a bit better, but I think the offensive scheme for Jacksonville is a bit better. I'm going to give that one to Jacksonville. Only because I think Baltimore's offense will struggle against Jalen Ramsey and the crew. But that's an easy win for Jacksonville, in my opinion, down in the heat of Florida. In the NFC, we got the Packers, Saints-Packers. I'm giving that one to the Packers because the Saints outdoors in the cold of Lambeau, that's not where you want to be, and I'm going to give that one to them. The Chiefs versus the Chargers. I think the Chiefs have their number. And I think the Chargers are not ready for the playoff exposure. I'm giving that one to the Chiefs easy. Minnesota Vikings, Philadelphia Eagles. Vikings are looking for revenge. The Eagles are looking to move forward. And the Eagles, I think, win that game. Just offensively, I think they're better. And defensively, they can match up with the Vikings. Now we go on to the second round here, and I'm going to start with an NFC team. We're going to go with the Eagles versus the Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to roll over the Eagles, personally. Offensively, they're going to be great. Defensively, they'll be better than last year. And I think as a close defensive game, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. Now is Jacksonville, Cincinnati. Jacksonville moves up to the cold of Cincinnati. I'm going to give that to Cincinnati, personally, and I'm not saying that because I'm a fan. I think Blake Bortles will not be able to play in the cold, and Leonard Fournette's going to struggle against that defensive line, and Cincinnati's going to win their first playoff game in however many years it is, 27 years or so. Now we move on to the other AFC matchup, Chiefs, New England. It's going to be a great game, but I'm giving it to New England. And the reason I'm giving it to New England is because you have a rookie quarterback in Mahomes. That's the big reason. Packers, Rams. I'm giving it to the Rams, and I'm going to tell you why. The Rams' defense will stifle the offensive line of the Packers. The Packers do not have a running game, and the secondary for the Rams is elite. That's why I'm doing it. And I love Aaron Rodgers. I know Aaron Rodgers will make it work. But the Rams are just one of those teams. Now we have the AFC Championship game. Cincinnati Bengals versus the New England Patriots. It's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a close defensive game. I do. I think this will be a close defensive game. Who knows if it actually happens? This is just a prediction. I'm going to give it to the Patriots, though. And the reason why is because it's in Foxborough. Now, both teams play in a cold weather place. I think the Bengals' D-line's better. I think the linebackers aren't as good, but I think the secondary's better. I think the Bengals' offensive line is not as good, but I think the skills position players are better. But the quarterback's not as good. So that's why I'm giving it to the Patriots. Now, this is the good one. Rams, Falcons. This is going to be a very good championship game. I'm giving it to the Los Angeles Rams. Why am I giving it to the Rams? Because the Rams are playing in a dome along with the Falcons. Falcons are going to get outmatched defensively. And I think the Rams are going to move forward and go to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 53 matchup, the New England Patriots versus the Los Angeles Rams. I'm thinking about now, a lot of you people probably know where I'm going to go with this. I'm going with the Rams. And here's why. It's very comparable to what's going on in the NBA, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of the NBA. I'll be completely honest with you. But it's the same deal. The West is 10 times better than the East. And in this case, the NFC is 10 times better than the AFC. I don't care what the Patriots do. They're not beating one of these AFC teams. They're not beating they're not beating the Falcons this year if they make it. They're not beating the Rams. They're not beating the Packers. I don't think they beat the Eagles again. I don't even think they beat the Vikings or the Saints. They don't beat any of them. And that's where the Rams are now going, hoisting their second ever Lombardi trophy as Super Bowl champions. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of NFL Breakdown. I had a fun time. It's the first time back. This will be a weekly show around this time on Wednesday. We are going and look at my YouTube channel and at NFL Breakdown. I will be posting this on my social media platforms. And if you enjoyed this content, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Period. I'm sorry. Do it. Do it. Please. Please do it. It helps me out. And for a small channel just starting up, this season should be fun. I would love to see comments in the comment section talking about your team. Actually, in the comments in this video, or in one of the 4 videos I'm going to post up here in a playlist. Who's your favorite team? Tell me how you think your team's going to go, or how your team's going to do in the season. And I hope to see you in the next one.